Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is November 4th, and we have another patch update here. It's in the wee hours of the morning. We're actually here down in Southern California doing a little bit of casting for something else, but of course, we want to make sure that we get you all of these amazing Dota 2 updates each and every Thursday/Friday morning.
Yeah,
so with
where exactly are we, Zeno, by any chance?
We're in a top secret location.
We are in a hotel room because we have no access to anything except for our laptops and my new microphone, which now should sound actually pretty good. Do I sound sexy to anybody out there?
Or do I sound sexy? Yeah, I don't really know, but we're going to jump right into the patch updates here. Obviously, the most exciting things so far are that there are 2 new heroes. I mean, this has almost become a normal thing. Right. Multiple heroes added to the game each and every week.
We're going to save the best for last
today, we have to save the dessert for last, because sometimes I actually eat the dessert first.
No, that's not good for you. That's the American thing to do, and I think that's why obesity is so high in this country. But
it does make a lot of sense,
right? I mean, that's the juicy part of the patch, no doubt about it. And unfortunately, we're going through the list. We didn't see too much amazingness that we've seen in the past. But there are a couple things that caught our eye.
Anyways, we're going to now focus on some of the changes that they have made to the game, and sort of the first important thing that jumps out to me, at least, is that they've made quote-unquote massive server performance improvements, and that at the very least means that the servers are working with the game more efficiently, and there have been some issues, with Dota 2, some inconsistencies, I think, with how the servers have performed, and this is, I hope, another step in the direction of having a very consistent, high-quality game, kind of no matter what your ping is. They've done some improvements on input delay, and now they're focusing on the server side of things.
Well, that's the thing. The last patch, they fixed, quote-unquote, well, they did pretty much fix the unit response delay, but when we were testing, it was like, wow, this feels great, and I looked at my ping, it's 120, so that's really not acceptable for when you're going to be pushing out a lot more beta keys, which you're actually doing now, as you guys would know. So the pings have been drastically reduced for the most part, and they're going to continue working on that. So we're very happy that they're actually focusing on things that we've talked about in the past. So definitely good to see in the very next patch them actually working on that.
Yeah, and the other interesting thing that they have implemented is more towards the matchmaking side of things, in that they have created sort of a separate little quarantine area for all those annoying people that ruin your games by leaving them over and over again.
And we were talking last time about, since they implemented the report a person system, the fact that we didn't know if they're actually going to, do anything about it other than them reporting. Like, we thought they'd at least initially start with the bare minimums and then grow towards whatever they want to do, and it looks like they've already jumped into that with basically putting people in segregated sections. It's like, the people that are scumbags that leave games, they get to play against each other and have an awful time together, basically.
Yeah, and I think that makes a lot of sense, and to some degree, it's almost like a punishment for them, but on the other hand, it does allow them to maybe stay in those games more consistently and allow themselves to kind of earn their way back out of the bowels of the Dota 2 beta player base right now. So I think that's a good move, at least for us, because we don't really leave games ever. So that will allow us to play with people that maybe don't completely ruin our games by leaving like 6 minutes in and just rage quitting. And those are kind of the 2 major changes that we did see as far as the gameplay side. Obviously, there's been more tweaks to the game as far as fixing bugs with the heroes, and they also added in the heroes that came out last week in 2 captains modes. So those are just kind of some basic changes, but we're going to jump right into the heroes here.
This is the dessert, so enjoy this thoroughly, friends.
I'm looking forward to this. Just like a delicious piece of pie from Marie Callender's.
Let's not talk about that.
So first off, we're going to go into Dragon Knight, which is a hero that we've been looking forward to for quite some time now. Very excited to see him finally come out, one of the heroes that we've really enjoyed in the original Dota, and now we get to see him in Dota 2. We've had a chance to look at all of his spell animations and how he looks in, of course, his amazing dragon form, and I have to say that I really like him overall, but there's nothing really that stands out to me as like, wow, what an amazing animation, like we saw with maybe the napalm with Bat Rider from last week.
Jakiro's skills too.
Yeah, just all the fire animations in general, like really sexy. Whereas this week, it's just basically like, well, yeah, that's pretty much how I imagine Dragon Knight to be, which is fine. There's nothing bad, but just I think a solid port overall.
So I'll say, looking at his Breathe Fire, that looks amazing, obviously, because all the fire effects that they added last week or last patch, I believe, like we're just talking about. And then of course his Dragon form, which is by far his most appealing skill, The one complaint I'll have is the fact that I was bringing this up to you earlier. The blue dragon, which is the ice one, in Dota, I still think it looks better. It looks like a Lich ult where there's more extension on the particle effects for the actual, what am I thinking of, the actual attack animation, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, there's more of like a trail, like it's
Right.
slowly blasting its way through
and
the
unfortunately, like the way they have it right now is the original version of what the Lich ult used to be, and that was my biggest complaint with it. So it needs to have, I feel, in my opinion at least, it needs to have kind of a trailing tail or something into it. But other than that, can't complain too much.
Yeah.
Here I've been looking forward to for months on end.
And I think that's become a little bit of a pattern with you, actually, comparing fire spells, which you seem to all like, and then the ice spells, which you don't. Going back to the ice line of whatever. It's
ice
like a
path
little
for Jakiro.
Little ice path
terrible.
of like ice cubes that melt very quickly. You're not a fan of that too.
It looked like you're draped in semen more than anything.
Maybe they just live in a really hot area like Phoenix and have never seen any actual liquid being frozen, and maybe they just don't have a good example of what that looks like. So with that, we're going to jump right into a hero that I really, really like, actually, as far as how it looks visually. And that is Omni Knight. Now, I know there's one exception to that, as I was saying that you pointed out earlier. I don't really know why they went this way, but Repel basically has that same BKB
and fortification
sort of protective swirl, I guess, that they've decided to add in. And it is what it is. I'm hoping that that's just a placeholder, because
I've been saying that for months though.
Yeah, we keep thinking, oh no, ignore that, guys, it's just a placeholder, no worries. And they haven't really gone anywhere with that, so that's a little bit of a disappointment. But first and foremost, his portrait I think is absolutely awesome.
You just like it because he's a beard.
I like anything with a beard, and especially a beard with like a mustache or something like that. But he's like a wizened old man with that nice white beard, and I just love that so very much. And I really like that whole portrait side of him, and all of his spells, I think, except for Repel, I think look very good as well.
So first and foremost, I just want to say that to Valve, anything that we say that's negative is just going to be hopefully used as constructive criticism, because overall, everything looks amazing. I mean, overall, everything... We're just being nitpicky, if you will. Now, Guardian Angel looks amazing. Absolutely amazing. Degen Aura, where you can see like people's feet kind of glowing.
So good, yeah.
It looks really good. I personally... I'll talk about the worst one last. But Purification, his heal, it looks fine, except the radius on the actual heal, it's a little bit slow. It's kind of slow, and it expands as if it just, for people that don't know exactly what the skill is, it kind of insinuates that it's a bigger AoE, and actually, just for me, it needs to be like an instantaneous thing, basically. But of course, going to Repel, I'm not sure why they keep going. I keep hoping to God that it's a placeholder, because the spell effect does not look good on buildings, does not look good on BKB, and does not look good as a Repel skill animation. So hopefully Valve's listening and they actually do something about that, because BKB still looks terrible in my opinion, as well as the fortification.
Yep, so I can't really say anything else other than I completely agree with that, and hopefully we'll, again, keep seeing some graphical tweaks as we go along through each and every Thursday here. But with that, guys, we're going to wrap things up here. It was great to see another patch come out, 2 new heroes, and some more tweaks as far as the performance of this game and how it functions online. So again, this is Xenocide here with Sunsfan, snuggling up close to our microphone here on his bed in a hotel room, giving you another patch update here on November 4th of 2011.
Just to clarify, there's 2 beds in this room. Good night, guys.